Hello, hello, hi, welcome back. At this juncture, I think we need to look at module 6. Now, I'm navigating this component, so I'll try to put this navigation of the video somewhere, maybe before A, so that we can see what is provided here. I'll try to position it just a little bit on part 6.1, around 6.1 before A, so that you see the video navigation for module number 6. Now, I know previously what we did was you went through module 5. I don't think there was any major task here. This was just to give you an appreciation, or rather knowledge, or rather ideas on how to do moderation. I know you went through different criteria that you may need to check. We mentioned earlier we may only focus on assessment, but at a larger scale, moderation may have a full system in terms of input, process and output, or pre-moderation, during moderation, or post-moderation. So in this case, it depends on where you position your moderation on. We may be looking currently on just assessment of moderation, so which is part of post-moderation. Okay, now going back to my module 6, under 6.1, you may realize that you're going to be provided with moderation instrument. What do I mean by this? You're going to be provided with a syllabus, or a document, or an instrument that contains the learning outcome. You may also be provided with an assessment, which is the question. You may also be provided with the answer book, or that the marking key. Now, using these three moderation instrument, you're going to use moderation tool in part D to moderate assessment. So you must open, let me click for example A. Immediately when you open A, then there will be a tool that is you're going to see now, for example, like a syllabus or an outline. So use this outline to go through the learning outcomes, which is very important. We did this in module number 2. That gives you an idea of where the assessment were prepared from. Alright, so you may see something that has the syllabus or learning outcome. If I click on part B, what happens next? You may now see like the assessment. Now, the assessment will be provided with questions, so different sets of questions. So go through this and see what is provided. We thought of giving you something relevant to engineering, and if it's so technical, I've given you option 2, where you may use the previous assessment on walk around inspection. I think you're going to find that in 6.2. Alright, so you can see, so you're going to part B, you're provided with a question, so go through these, probably look at it, and then we'll see what happens. Then part C, you're given now the suggested solution. Suggested solution is now the answers to the booklet. So you go through this, so that at the end of it all, when you go through this, you'll be able now to use moderation tool in 6.1, which is option 1. So I've given you this part, which is moderation 2. Now if I click that, it takes me here. So you read some instruction here. All you need to do, pay attention to this, you may be required to answer questions. Now these questions are related to moderation criteria questions. So if I click on the question, look at what happens. Now immediately you are taken to this moderation 2, a little bit of a learning outcome of what is required, the first cover page giving you instructions about the moderation, and then if I click to the next page, which you're going to do, you now see some questionnaire which are related to technical moderation. Alright, now this questionnaire about technical moderation, you can see the objective is to ensure that the assessment are professionally presented. When you're looking at technical word, design, structure, instruction are very clear, and you can see all you need to do, it's either tick and then move on to the next. Okay, either you appreciate ticking and then move on to the next. Of course, you might type your comment. It's advisable to say maybe 1 if you say, and then explain what would have happened, probably not clear, so give them not clear and explain what you think it is. And then you can also recommend what maybe the assessor could do, maybe improve, or maybe include cover page, or cover page should be included. So it's good to mention, include cover page in whatever you already have here. So this is a good example. And then you click the next page. The minute I click the next page, then you see now you get to the next aspect, content coverage moderation. So you look at the content, assessment, cover, learning outcome, questions match the syllabus. So remember the resources that you had before. So this is the kind of instructions that are going to be given. Now when you complete, go to the next page. Now you're going to be provided now with thinking and cognitive skill moderation. Now this gives you an idea of what you need to do. Covers different levels. The assessment, you can go all the way down to encourages application of knowledge, promote analytical thinking. So you're looking at your paper and looking at this aspect. Okay, now when you have time, proceed to the next one, and then you're going to find out the marking and feedback about the marking scheme, the answers, and whatever you're provided. And then finally you click next page. In this case, you're going to see now the moderation decisions, and in this moderation decision you're provided with approval. All right, you can even provide approved with changes. You can even see rejected. So these are components that are provided within that. So and then you can easily comment on what is provided at the end of it all. So in this case, you can now later click on submit answer. So this gives you an overview on what is expected in terms of moderation. The same thing is going to happen when you go to 6.2. I've given you option 2 where you are given assessment 2. Now this is a little bit less technical because it was provided based on the assessment that you looked into. I think it was in module number 4 where you're doing your moderation development. There was an assessment sample provided here on inspection. I think if I can come back quickly, I can click on this. Let's see. Now this is what you may find in option number 2, and it will be requiring you to moderate this. So you're given 2 options. Now if option 1 is too technical, you can use option 2, but you are also encouraged, if you can do the both of them for your practice, it is still fine, but the same concept will be repeated when you get to module 6. Now I think with that it will give you a good idea on how to moderate assessment. So the whole idea is that complete moderation tool in 6.2D, and also complete the moderation in 6.2C, depending on which assessment you prefer to take. I think this will give you a good idea. Now complete and submit, and then later I'll give you a guideline on how to analyze or how we are going to check everybody's comments and feedback, so that we can learn from each other, see how we can reconcile the decisions that we make, and eventually we can see the concept that we have in relation to whatever we have here. All right, so in this case, later after we complete, I'll open up the feedback form so that when you complete, always give feedback in relation to the course and where we can improve in terms of this. So we will encourage, immediately complete, go up and fill up your feedback form so that you can give us ideas on more and more ideas on how to improve areas that had issues, areas that need improvement. These are things that we can get from you, more like moderating the program. This feedback will help us even communicate back to the management and help us at a later stage to do a better job provided by your ideas. Thank you so much. Now looking forward for your completion in terms of the moderation that is provided for you here. Great. See you soon. Looking forward for your task and your moderation responsibility. Thank you and see you later.